Good morning, students, and welcome to the online education for the English medium organized by the Education Department of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. So today we are going to be studying the subject science for class 9. Okay. The topic that we are going to be starting today is the topic of sound, that is study of sound. And this is the first session. So we are going to introduce today exactly what sound is, how is it produced, and all of these things. Okay. My name is Vishal Sudhir Chaudhary, and I am from the Kurar Village MPS English Secondary School. Okay. So let us first of all see what are the contents that we are going to be studying in this chapter. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to be studying about the sound waves, right? The different types of waves that are present and what kind of waves are present in sound that we will be discussing in detail. Then after that, we will be talking about the velocity of sound, how velocity of sound changes in different mediums, and how it defines or how the velocity of sound changes with changes in conditions. Then we are going to also see about the concept of reflection of sound. What are the various things that happen due to the reflection of sound, right? Then concepts relating to echo, reverberation, all of that we are going to study. Then we are going to be studying in detail about the human ear. How does the human ear work? What are the inner workings of the inner ear, right? All of these things we are going to be studying about the human ear. Then important concepts also include the types of sounds, that is the audible sounds, infrasonic sounds, and ultrasonic sounds, and also the uses and applications of ultrasonic sounds as well as the applications of infrasounds. Okay, so that we are going to be studying. Now let us first of all start with the definition of sound. Okay, so you must all be coming across the sounds, different sounds. Right now you're listening to me right now. So right now I'm producing the sound which through the mobile devices and through technologies reaching to you from your speakers. Okay, so sound is a form of energy which creates a sensation of hearing in our ears, right? So we have previously studied the concept of work and energy, right? So you are quite aware energy can be interconverted into different forms, right? Right now, the sound energy that I am creating, it is through the chemical energy. The food that I have eaten previously, that is converted into chemical energy, and in my body, through various processes, that chemical energy is converted into sound energy, right? So sound energy will travel from one point to another point, right? And then it will be perceived by you through your ears. Okay, so how does it move from one point to another point? All of these things we will be studying very shortly. Okay, so let us now study certain properties of sound waves. Okay, now sound energy travels in the form of waves, and a medium is necessary for the propagation of sound waves. Right now, if you look at this diagram here, the small animation as you can see here, what we have here is a small speaker, right? That small speaker, when it is producing a sound, what happens is it sets into motion the air molecules, right? Now the air molecules start vibrating along with the vibration of the speaker. Now, if you may have observed a speaker, in front of it there is a black round surface, right? So whenever a speaker works or whenever it is producing sound, what happens is the surface of the speaker moves back and forth very fast. Okay, and that starts or sets into motion the air molecules which are present. So the air molecules transfer this motion to the preceding molecules, means one after the other the air molecules start vibrating, as you can see, right? And you can see the wave going from left hand side to the right hand side. That means the wave originates from the speaker and moves towards the right hand side. Okay, let us study further. Now, as you can see, because the wave has to move through a medium, right? A medium is necessary. That medium can be any medium, either a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Okay, let us move further, right? So sound waves gives rise to a chain of compression and rarefaction in the medium, right? So you can imagine here, as you can see the diagram, you can imagine that there can be a source of sound on the left hand side of the screen, right? So you can see the vibrations are coming from the left hand side and they are moving towards the right hand side. Okay, so whenever a source starts vibrating very fast, what happens? It sets into motion and it sets into vibration the particles of the medium. Now, if you observe those individual particles, can you focus on the red colored particle, individual particle it is just moving back and forth, right? So it is oscillating, that is, it is vibrating from left hand side to right hand side. But as it is doing so, what is happening? It is generating two regions. One is a region of high pressure, which we can call as a compression. You can see it being labeled with the yellow colored arrow, the compression, right? And the compression is moving from left hand side to the right hand side. So the compression can be a region of high pressure where particles are forced together, right? Whereas you can also see a certain region where particles have moved apart from each other, which we can see by the purple arrow termed as a rarefaction, right? So you can observe this wave moves as alternate bands of compressions and rarefaction, right, which form the wave. Okay, so you can visualize this wave in the form of a wave below the blue colored one, right? So you can see sound waves gives rise to a chain of compressions and rarefactions in the medium, right? Now, let us talk about the types of waves. Now, waves are basically of two types. The first one is a longitudinal wave, and the second one is a transverse wave. Now, let us first of all talk about a longitudinal wave. So, in a longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium oscillate about their mean positions in a direction parallel to the propagation of the wave. Now, if you can see, the wave in this animation or in this diagram is moving from the left hand side to the right hand side, as shown by the black colored arrow at the bottom, right? So you can see the wave is moving from left hand side to the right hand side. Okay. Now, if you can see and focus on that red colored particle, you can observe the red colored particles or individual particles are just moving from left to right. They do not travel with the wave, but they are present at their main position. They maintain their position, but they are just vibrating at their position from left to right. Okay, and they just transfer their energy from one particle to another particle. Means the particles on the left hand side, they transfer their energy to the particles on the right hand side, as you can see, right? So in a longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium oscillate means to vibrate, oscillate about their mean positions in a direction parallel to the propagation of a wave. So in this case, it is a longitudinal wave, right? Here you need to observe the individual particle. As you can see, the particle just moves left to right, to and fro on its own position. So the mean position is maintained, right? The particle does not travel along with the wave, right? So you can see there are those alternate regions of compressions and rarefactions, okay, which form the wave. Now let us see the next type of wave. So the next type of wave is a transverse wave. So in a transverse wave, the particles of the medium oscillate about their mean positions in a direction perpendicular to the propagation of the wave. Now, if you can observe, the wave moves from the left hand side to the right hand side as shown, right? But if you now focus onto that individual particle, in this case, the red colored particle, it just seems to go up and down, right? So the direction of in which the wave is going and the direction in which the individual particle is moving is at a angle of 90 degrees. That means they are perpendicular to each other. So such kind of a wave is transverse wave, right? So you need to visualize a transverse wave in which the wave is going from left to right, but the particle vibrates up and down, right? Whereas a longitudinal wave also goes from left to right, but the particle also oscillates, vibrates to from left to right. Okay, so in this case, the direction of oscillation and direction of wave motion is parallel. Okay, now let us move on further. Okay, now let us go into detail about how exactly a sound wave moves, right? So a sound wave can be shown in the form of a graph. Now that graph is right at the bottom. On the right hand side, you can see the graph is shown on the bottom, as you can see here, right? But if you go through it, the top diagram, now you can see there is a loudspeaker on the left hand side. Okay, now when the surface of the loudspeaker starts vibrating, what happens is it sets into motion the air molecules, right? So the air molecules also start vibrating along with the speaker and they transfer their vibrations from left hand side to the right hand side. Now, as those vibrations are caused, you get alternate regions of high pressure and low pressure. So the regions of high pressure are called compressions, which here are shown by a letter C, right? And where the particles move away from each other, where the particles move away from each other is a region of low pressure, which is shown by the letter R. Right? As you can see, just above the diagram, you can see those arrows are shown where they signify or where they are telling you exactly how the particles move back and forth. Right? So this can also be shown with horizontal vertical lines. Right? So where you have vertical lines stacked very close, जहां पर देखो vertical lines बहुत नजदीक आ गए हैं, you can say that to be a compression region of high pressure. Whereas where the particles move far apart, you can see the vertical lines are also far apart. That is a region of low pressure called as rarefaction, right? Now this wave, this longitudinal wave can be expressed in the form of a transverse wave, right? So wherever there are compressions, you can see a peak form at the top. Wherever there are rarefaction, there is a trough, means the wave goes towards the bottom, right? So any moment means at any moment during the propagation of sound, we can find alternate bands of compression and rarefaction of the medium, that is bands of high and low density. Now this can be very nicely visualized in this diagram. You can see the bands of high pressure means where the particles have come very close to each other, right? They are called compressions. As you can see, the bands are moving, whereas the particles have moved away from each other. These are the regions of rarefaction, right? So you can see the bands of compressions or bands of rarefaction, they are moving, right? Which form the wave. Okay, this is very important. Now let us now discuss about the certain characteristics of sound waves, right? Now, for any wave, there are certain characteristics which are fixed, right? So these can be wavelength, frequency, amplitude, time period, and so on. So we are going to be discussing all of this in proper detail, right? So let us see the most important characteristic of a wave, which is called as a wavelength. Okay, so the distance between two consecutive compressions or rarefaction is called as a wavelength, right? Now, wavelength can be also defined as the distance between two identical points on a wave, right? But we can stick to this definition here, that is distance between two consecutive compressions or rarefactions. Now, as you can see here in the diagram, you can see the compressions are regions of high density where particles have moved together, whereas rarefactions are the distances where they are moving apart. You can see the wavelength is a distance between the two top part of the wave, right? That is a crest. If you go back to the previous diagram, in this case, you can measure the distance either between two compressions, that is the two successive compressions, one after the other, or you can measure difference between two successive rarefactions. That will also give you the same thing, that is a wavelength. Now, wavelength is indicated by the Greek letter lambda. So lambda is just the symbol for the wavelength, whereas the unit for measuring wavelength is a unit of length that can be meter, centimeter, nanometer, right? So the unit for measuring wavelength will be the unit for length. Okay, now let us go to the next characteristic. This is also very important. Now, frequency determines the kind of sound that we have. Okay, so the frequency of a wave is a number of oscillations per unit time, right? Which is frequency. It is indicated by the Greek letter nu. Okay, and its unit is hertz. That is number of vibrations per second or number of waves per second. Now, please observe this diagram here, right? So there is one wave on the left hand side, and there is one wave on the right hand side. Now, if you observe this properly, both the waves happen to move with the same velocity. Okay, but the basic difference is on the left hand side, you can see there are less number of waves, right? But on the right hand side, you can see there are more number of waves, right? Now, if you try to relate these waves with the kind of vibrations, so you can see on the wave which is on the left hand side, which has a lower frequency, the object is vibrating slowly. Left to right, it is going very slowly, which is indicated by the graph below, right? Here, the left and right motion is converted into a up and down motion of the red particle, but actually it is going from left to right. Okay, with the wave on the right hand side, you can see there are more number of waves per unit time. So the particle is moving left to right very fast, right? So you can say that the wave on the left hand side has a lower frequency, right? We can see low frequency corresponds to long wavelength, whereas on the right hand side, you can see there is a high frequency, there are more number of waves. So when you have more number of waves, the wavelength will be very short. Okay, so what is a wave having higher frequency. So in a wave having higher frequency, there will be more number of waves passing per unit time, right? Means there will be more number of waves in 1 second, right? Whereas in a wave having a lower frequency, there will be less number of waves passing per second, right? So this is a very important characteristic. Now this will define this frequency. We will take help when we are trying to define the types of sound, that is audible sound, infrasound, and ultrasound. Okay, we will discuss this again when we study audible sounds. Okay, let us study further. Now next is a characteristic of a sound wave is called as an amplitude. Okay, now amplitude is a maximum value of pressure or density. Okay, it is indicated by the letter A. Again, its unit is same as the length of is a unit of length. Now, a wave with a lower amplitude will be a softer sound, right? And a wave with a higher amplitude will be a louder sound. For taking this example, you can consider that I am speaking. Okay, so when I'm speaking with my normal sound, with my normal voice, okay, the amplitude will be very less because I am speaking very softly. Okay, but whenever I am speaking or when I am speaking very loudly, what happens? The frequency of my sound remains the same, but the amplitude increases. Right? Means the energy that I'm putting into the sound will increase. So a wave having a lower amplitude will be a softer sound, whereas a wave having a louder sound will have a higher amplitude. In short, a louder sound will travel a larger distance, right? So a wave having a higher amplitude will have an ability to travel a longer distance. Okay. Then next is what? The time period. Okay. So time period is what? The time taken for one oscillation of a pressure or density at a point in a medium is called as a time period, indicated by the letter T. Okay, so its unit will be seconds. Okay, as you can see, देखो, in the diagram, the time period will be the time required for one complete wave to pass. That can be from one crest to one crest, means from one compression to one compression. Okay, or from one rarefaction to one rarefaction, or time taken between two identical points. Right, as you can see, the time period here, it is shown between 2 points, two successive points on the wave, which is the wavelength. That means time period will be the time required for one complete wave to pass through a medium. Okay, then next is the pitch of the sound. The value of frequency determines the pitch of the sound. Okay, now we have already studied frequency, right? So sounds having a high frequency, they are said to be of high pitch, whereas sounds of a lower frequency, they are said to be of low pitch sound. For taking an example, right? A male voice. Now, if you have two singers who are singing, and if you have a male singer and a female singer, then in that case, the male singer will always have the sound of a lower frequency, right? Male voices are very deep, heavy voice they have, whereas females will have a high pitched sound, very shrill sound. Right, now you can identify. Okay, so whenever you happen to hear two singers, a male singer and a female singer, the male singer will always have a deep, heavy voice, right? Whereas the female singer will have a shrill voice, thin voice, right? So low pitch sound is of low frequency and high pitch sound is of higher frequency. Okay, then velocity of sound. Okay, so you already know the definition of velocity. Yes. So now we are studying what? The velocity of sound. Now the concept of velocity we have already studied previously. So velocity is what? The distance covered by a point on the wave in unit time is called as the velocity of the sound wave. And velocity is given by what? Distance upon time. That means velocity of sound will be the distance traveled by the sound wave in that time period. Okay, now any point on the sound wave covers a distance equal to the wavelength lambda in time t, which is the time period. That means one wave, for a complete wave to pass with a wavelength of lambda, and the unit of wavelength is what? A unit of distance, that can be centimeters, meters, right? And time taken for that one wave to pass is given as time period t, right? So you can write down the velocity given as v equals to nu into lambda, right? Okay, that should be nu into lambda. Now, how does nu come here? Frequency. Now, there is a one important relation. 1 upon time period is frequency. Okay, this you should remember. 1 upon t is what? Frequency symbol nu. Fine. So hence we can write down velocity is equal to wavelength upon time period. So if you replace in the above formula, what is the formula? V equals to nu into lambda. If you replace that nu by 1 upon t, it will change what? V equals to lambda upon t, where lambda is what? The wavelength and t is the time period. Okay, that is a formula for velocity of the sound. You can also write it as velocity of sound is equal to wavelength into frequency. That is the same thing, na? Lambda into nu. Okay, so let us see. In any medium, at fixed physical conditions, the velocity of sound of different frequencies is very nearly the same. That means, as I've told you, if you have a male singer and you have a female singer, if both are singing together, right? Now remember, a male voice is a low pitch sound of lower frequency. Female sound is of a high pitch, that is high frequency. So if you have two different frequencies at the same time, and if both of them are singing together, what will happen? The sound waves produced by both the male singer as well as the female singer will travel with the same speed. Okay, fine. So in any medium at fixed physical conditions means what? The temperature of the medium, that is the temperature of the air, the pressure of the air should remain constant. Okay, so in any medium at fixed physical conditions, the velocity of sound of different frequencies is very nearly the same. Okay, so the velocity of sound is highest in solids and least in gases. And it increases with an increase in temperature of the medium. Now, how does this happen? Velocity of sound is highest in solids and least in gases. Now, if you look at this diagram, right? Now, in the previous standards, you have already studied about solid, liquids, and gases. Okay, so if you can briefly revise the properties of solid, liquid, and gases. So in a solids, what happens? The particles of the medium, they are very close to each other, whatever it may be, atoms or molecules, right? So we can call them particles. So in a solid, the particles are very close to each other. They are very tightly packed. As you can see in this diagram, the gray particles, you can see they are very close. So the wave, the disturbance will travel very fast because the particles are very close to each other. Now, in a liquid, what happens? The particles are slightly farther apart and they are also in motion. So you can see in the blue, in this diagram shown by the blue particles, right? The disturbance will travel slightly slowly, right? Whereas in gases, the particles are very, very far apart from each other. So in this case, you can see shown by the red illustration. It is just an example. It doesn't travel that way exactly. It is just shown for example, right? So in a gas, the wave will travel the slowest, right now. So that means what? Whenever we are speaking or whenever we are listening to any sound, right? The sound is traveling at the lowest possible speeds, right? So sounds will travel faster in liquids and the fastest in solids, right? That can be shown by certain examples. Okay, now look at this diagram or look at this table which is there in your textbook, right? Now, if you can observe certain substances, the first one you can see in the first column we have the state solid, liquid, gases. In the second column we have the different substances, and in the third column we have their speeds. So if you can see the first substance, that is aluminum. Now, aluminum is a solid, it is a metal, right? So you have already learned metals are very dense, particles are very close to each other. Okay, so in this case, you can see the speed of sound in aluminum is 5,420 meters per second, right? Very fast, right? In something like a nickel, it is 6,040 meters per second. In steel, it is 5,960 meters per second, right? In iron, it is 5,950 meters per second, and so on. If you look at liquids, you can see in seawater, the speed of sound is 1,531 meter per second, whereas in pure water, you have 1,498 meter per second. Now you can see why is there a difference in the speeds of seawater and pure water? In seawater, you have lots of salts and lots of minerals dissolved, right? But in pure water, you have nothing else. You have just pure water, only water molecules, right? Whereas something in like ethanol, methanol, there are other liquids, right? So in that case, the speed is different. If you observe for gases, you can see in hydrogen gas, right? The speed of sound is 1,284. In helium, it is 965. In air, it is 346. In pure oxygen, it is 316 meter per second, right? So you can see there are various differences. As the medium changes through which the sound is flowing, the speed of the sound will change. There is no need for you to memorize any of these values. There is only one value, that is for air, that we will study further. Okay, but you should just have a general idea of how the speed of sound changes with different mediums. Okay, then now is an important concept that we need to be discussing, right? Variation in velocity of sound. Now, what do you mean by this? Now, when you have a given medium, say for example, air, right? And how does the velocity of sound change in air? Now, if you change the temperature, or if you change the pressure, or if you change the kind of molecule that is in the air, or if you change the density, what will happen is the speed of the sound will change. That is, the speed of the sound will either increase or it will decrease depending upon the change in the conditions. So let us discuss the first one, that is variation with temperature. Okay, what does it say? The velocity of sound is directly proportional to the square root of the temperature of the medium. Now, if you can see here, there is an equation written where V stands for velocity, right? Velocity of the sound, and T, capital T, stands for the temperature, right? Okay. Now, in between the symbol which is made is alpha. That stands for proportionality. That is a symbol for direct proportionality. Now, what does it mean, direct proportionality? Direct proportionality means that when value changes, the other value will also change. But how does it change? In this case, in a direct proportionality, when one value increases, the other value will also increase, right? Likewise, when one value decreases, other value will also decrease. So if you discuss this, velocity will increase with increase in temperature, velocity will decrease with decrease in temperature, because it is a direct proportion, right? This means that increasing the temperature 4 times doubles the velocity. That means if I take an example, let us assume that at 20 degrees Celsius, समझते हैं, let us assume, ऐसे समझेंगे हम कि हमारे एयर का टेम्परेचर है कितना, 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ठीक है? Okay, say at 20 degrees Celsius, the speed of sound is समझो 340 meter per second. I will repeat. Let us assume that the temperature of the air is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, at 20 degrees Celsius, the temperature, the velocity of sound is 340 meters per second. Now, if you look at the condition, this means that increasing the temperature 4 times will double the velocity. Now, what is the initial temperature? 20 degrees. If you increase the temperature by 4 times, that means 20 degrees Celsius multiplied by 4. It will be how many degrees Celsius? It will be 80 degrees Celsius, right? So at 80 degrees Celsius means at 4 times of the initial temperature, the velocity will double. What was the initial velocity? 340 meter per second, right? The velocity will double. So what is a twice of 340? 680 meter per second, right? So if you increase the temperature by 4 times, the value of the velocity of the speed will double. Okay. Then next is what? Variation with density. The velocity of sound is inversely proportional to square root of density. Now, inverse proportion is always written as a reciprocal. Okay. Look at that equation. V is proportional to 1 upon root of rho, where rho stands for density. That is a symbol, rho. Okay. You can read it as density also, does not matter. So V is proportional to 1 upon under root of density. Or you can read it as velocity is inversely proportional to square root of density. Right? It is also similar to that of temperature only, but it is the other way around. Let us see. This means that increasing the density 4 times reduces the velocity to half of its value. It is the other way around. Okay. Then next is variation with molecular weight. Now, what is molecular weight? Mass of an individual molecule. Now, if you are aware, every atom has 2 properties. One is the atomic number, and other is atomic mass number. Right? So if you talk about hydrogen gas, hydrogen atom has a mass of 1. Okay, and hydrogen molecule is H2. Right? So each hydrogen atom has a mass of 1. So hydrogen molecule will have a mass of 1 plus 1, that is 2. Same way, oxygen atom molecule O2, each oxygen atom has a mass of 16. So O2 will have a mass of 32. Right? So if you replace hydrogen gas by oxygen gas, what is happening? Molecular mass is increasing. Right? So what does this say? The velocity of sound is inversely proportional to square root of the molecular weight of the gas. You can see the equation. V is inversely proportional to under root of m. This means that increasing the molecular weight 4 times reduces the velocity to half of its value. That means if you replace hydrogen gas with oxygen gas, the velocity of sound will decrease. Got it? This is an important relation. Okay. Here you just need to remember how it changes. Either it increases or it decreases. That is what you need to remember. Okay. Then there are certain questions that I will like students to solve today as a homework, right? So you can see, give the definition of sound, then give the definition of longitudinal waves, then definition of transverse wave, right? Then definition of amplitude and velocity of sound. And also state the factors that affect the velocity of sound in the gaseous medium, right? So before we conclude the class, let us revise whatever that we have done today. Okay, so as you can see, first of all, we studied the definition of sound, right? So sound is a form of energy which creates a sensation of hearing in our ears, right? So as I've told you, sound can be generated through any way. If you have a speaker, right, it works on the concept of electricity. So here electrical energy in a speaker is converted into sound energy that will reach to your ears, where you will perceive it as sound. Okay, then next one, sound energy travels in the form of waves, and a medium is necessary for the propagation of sound waves. Sound waves are also called as material waves, right? Why? Because they require a material. That means sound will travel through solids as well as liquids as well as gas. Sound will not travel through vacuum, right? What is a vacuum? Where there is nothing. So if you take a container and suck out all of the air through an air pump, there will be a vacuum inside the bottle, right? And in a vacuum, sound does not travel because there is no medium. Okay, then sound waves gives rise to a chain of compressions and rarefactions in a medium, right? So you can see in a sound, what happens is the vibrations travel. Okay, so you can see the red particles, they are just moving from left to right. I mean, all particles are black, but just for reference, some of them are colored so that you can observe them carefully. Okay, so you can see the red particles, they are just moving back and forth, left to right at their mean position. So their position is fixed. What is happening? They're just moving back and forth and transferring their energy from left hand side to the right hand side. So in this case, what happens? A wave is formed, right? So a wave in this case is comprised of or formed of regions of high pressure, which are called as compressions, and regions of low pressure, which are called as rarefactions. And they all are alternate. Means you have a compression, then rarefaction, then compression, then rarefaction, then compression, then rarefaction, and so on. Okay, then the two types of waves are the longitudinal wave and a transverse wave. So in a longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium oscillate. Oscillate means to vibrate. Oscillate about their mean position in a direction parallel to the propagation of the wave. Propagation means the direction in which it is going. Okay, so you can look into this diagram. The wave is moving from left side to the right hand side, right? As you can see. Okay, but the individual particles, they are also vibrating left to right. Means the direction of oscillation means vibration, and direction of the wave, they are parallel to each other. Such a wave is called as a longitudinal wave, and sound waves are kinds of longitudinal waves, right? The next is a transverse wave. So in a transverse wave, the particles of the medium oscillate about their mean positions in a direction perpendicular to the propagation of the wave. As you can see here, the wave is again going from left to right, but if you observe the individual particles, they are going up and down, right? So the up and down motion of the particles is perpendicular to the left to right direction of the wave. Okay, these kind of waves are present in something like light waves or electromagnetic waves, your mobile phone signals, right? Right now, majority of you or even I am using my mobile phone. Now these work on signals, जिसको हम लोग network बोलते हैं, right? So the network, these waves, they are in the form of electromagnetic waves, and they are such kind of waves, transverse waves. Okay, then a sound wave can be shown in the form of a graph. At any moment during the propagation of a sound wave, we can find alternate bands of compressions and rarefactions in the medium, that is bands of high and low density. So you can see in this diagram, you have those compressions and rarefaction regions, which are one after the other, which are alternate, right? And they will just move from left side to the right hand side. Okay, so these regions are of high and low pressure alternate bands. Okay, then and through these bands, energy, that is the sound energy, is transferred. So as far as you move further from the source of the sound, the energy will go on decreasing, right? That is why sound can only travel up to a certain distance, right? So when you are speaking, only a certain people up to certain distance can hear me, right? The sound generated by me won't go on forever up to infinite distance. No, it can only travel up to a certain distance. Okay. Then next is what the characteristics of sound waves that we have studied one by one. Let us see. First of all is the wavelength. The distance between two consecutive compressions or rarefactions is called as a wavelength, and it is indicated by the Greek letter lambda, right? So wavelength can be also understood as distance between two similar points on a wave. Now those you can take to be the top part of the waves or maybe the bottom part of the wave, right? Or in some other diagram we had taken, in this case, can you see the wavelength is taken from the node to the node. That means from the left and right, you can see the time period is shown. That distance is also a wave or a wavelength. Okay, it is shown by the Greek letter lambda. Then next is what? The frequency. The number of oscillations per unit time is the frequency of the wave, indicated by the letter nu. Okay, now a wave of a higher frequency will have more number of waves passing in 1 second, whereas a wave with a lower frequency will have less number of waves passing through a point in 1 second. So you can see on the left hand side, both the waves, if you observe, they are moving with the same speed. If you observe it carefully, both the waves are moving with the same speed, right? But what is the difference? The wave on the left hand side is longer, right? That means less number of waves will pass in a given amount of time. That can be 1 second. But the wave on the right hand side, you can see the wave is shorter, right? So as both waves are moving with the same speed, there will be more number of waves on the right hand side passing in 1 second. Okay, so you can say the wave on the left hand side is a wave with a lower frequency, whereas a wave on the right hand side is a wave with a higher frequency. This can also be understood as that of high pitch and low pitch, right? So the wave with more waves is high pitch, high frequency, and the wave on the left hand side is low pitch, the lower frequency, right? Next is what? Amplitude. The amplitude is a maximum value of pressure or density indicated by the letter A. Okay, now the amplitude will be how loud or soft a given sound is, right? It can be of the same wavelength. As I gave you the example, if I'm speaking very softly, you can identify that I am speaking. Vishal is speaking, you can identify. But if I am shouting very loudly, you can identify that same Vishal is shouting. How is it so? Because my sound will have a specific frequency, right? That your brain will record. Now, when you see me or when you're hearing me, you know that this is the sound of Vishal sir, right? But when I'm speaking very softly, it is a sound with a lower amplitude, means with a lower energy. When I'm speaking very softly, I spend less amount of energy. But when I need to shout, when I need to speak loudly so that my sound can reach for further distance, in that case, that sound will have a higher amplitude, right? And waves with higher amplitude have higher energy. They can travel further. Okay. The next is what? Time period. The time period for one oscillation of pressure or density at a point in the medium is called as a time period. It is given by indicated by letter T. So time period is nothing but time required for one complete wave to pass through a medium. Okay, that is simple. Then next is pitch. How I already told you. Waves with a higher frequency are high pitch. Waves with a lower frequency are called as low pitch, right? So you need to understand this. Then next is about velocity of a sound wave. We know velocity equals distance upon time, right? So any point on a sound wave covers a distance equal to lambda in time period t, right? So thus the velocity is given by v equals to nu into lambda, right? But one important fact is 1 upon time period is also given by frequency nu. Hence you can write velocity is wavelength upon time period. So v equals to lambda upon t, right? And velocity of sound is wavelength times frequency. Then in any medium at fixed physical conditions, the velocity of sound of different frequencies is nearly the same. As I told you, if you have a male singer and a female singer singing together at the same time, both their sounds will reach the listener at the same time. मतलब अगर मेरे सामने दो सिंगर्स खड़े हैं, एक मेल सिंगर है और एक फीमेल सिंगर है, दोनों गा रहे हैं, तो दोनों की आवाज, इवन दो दोनों की आवाज की फ्रीक्वेंसी अलग अलग है ना. जैसे मैंने बताया, मेल सिंगर का लो पिच साउंड होगा, लो फ्रीक्वेंसी वाला, फीमेल सिंगर का हाई पिच साउंड होगा, हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी वाला. सो जब दोनों बाजू बाजू में खड़े रह के गाना गाएंगे तो दोनों का आवाज मुख तक सेम टाइम पे पहुंचेगा. That means sounds of different frequencies in the same medium at same conditions travel with the same speed. Okay, but if the medium changes, then what will happen? The velocity of sound will change, right? So the velocity of sound is highest in solids and least in the gases. Okay, so as you can see in this diagram we had discussed, you can see the speeds, they are highest in solids, then they are a bit moderate in liquids and slowest in the gases. Okay, then we had seen how the velocity of sound varies with different changes in conditions. The first one is what? Variation in temperature. So the velocity of sound is directly proportional to the square root of the temperature of the medium. That is, V is directly proportional to under root of T. So this means that increasing the temperature 4 times doubles the velocity. Then next is what? Variation in density. The velocity of sound is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the medium. So you can read it as what? V is inversely proportional to under root of rho, or rho is density. This means that increasing the density 4 times reduces the velocity to half its value. Then variation with molecular weight. The velocity of sound is inversely proportional to square root of the molecular weight of the gas. So you can read V is inversely proportional to under root of m. This means that increasing the molecular weight 4 times reduces the velocity to half of its value. Right? And I have given you the questions that you will be preparing. Right? And thank you for that. So does anyone has any question that you need to ask me? You can raise your hand, students. Yes, bolo beta Vandana. Bolo Vandana. Yes, students, those who want to ask questions, raise your hands. And I will request students to please keep your names. ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं रखना है BTS lover, ऐसा कुछ नहीं रखना है. Please make sure that you set your name with the standard and the school name. Yes, Nidhi Yadav, बोलो बेटा.
सर ये टेम्परेचर कैसे प्रोपोर्शनल है वेलोसिटी का, एक बार और एक्सप्लेन कीजिए.
Yes बेटा मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था, इफ यू रिमेंबर, कि टेम्परेचर velocity is directly proportional to root of temperature, under root of temperature. So for example, if the temperature increases by 4 times, मतलब समझो, अगर मैंने एग्जांपल दिया ना आपको, समझो, let us consider that your temperature is right now 20 degree Celsius. अभी हमारे एयर का टेम्परेचर है समझो 20 degree Celsius, right? Now at 20 degree Celsius समझो हमारे साउंड का स्पीड है 340 मीटर पर सेकेंड, समझो. ओके, ठीक है. तो कंडीशन क्या है? इफ द टेम्परेचर इंक्रीजेस बाय 4 टाइम्स द वेलोसिटी विल गेट डबल्ड. तो अभी 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस का 4 टाइम्स टेम्परेचर कितना होगा बताओ निधि, टेल मी. इफ टेम्परेचर इज इंक्रीज बाय 4 टाइम्स, so temperature will go from 20 degree Celsius to 80 degree Celsius. So when temperature increases from 20 to 80, that is by 4 times, the velocity of the sound will get doubled. That means 340 meter per second multiplied by 2, that will be 680 meter per second. Okay, yes. ये next कौन है बोलो बेटा, किसको पूछना है? Unmute and ask, come on. Yes, students, unmute and ask please. Hello. Mayur sir, hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sir. I can.